Hi there, it's Julie Broad from Revenue.com with a little mystery for all you Sherlock Holmes fans out there. Maybe you can help us solve it, or at least tell us whether you would pursue a deal in this situation. Tons of stuff to cover, so I'm just going to dive in and give you the simple yet as much detail as I think you'll probably need to form an opinion. And I've just drawn up some charts here to help you kind of go through it all with me. So first of all, we sent out a bunch of yellow letters, as you probably know if you've been following our blog, lifeasrealestateinvestors.com. And we got a response from a woman who has a half duplex on Carrot Road. And we drove by and we just love this property and the location. So we met with her. And during that meeting, she was very receptive to doing a creative deal, which is really the only way we could make this particular property work because it's on the higher end of the property prices we like to work within. But the whole time we met with her and her Elvis boyfriend, I just couldn't shake the feeling that they were hiding something. And no matter what I asked them, I couldn't seem to get the story. But there was definitely times where she was telling us the truth. Like at one point, she told us about a property that she had on Mellon Avenue that was a rental. And I don't necessarily believe her that it's her property, but she definitely knew that area very well because we told her about a property we had looked at around the corner, and she actually knew the entire story of that property, and I was very confident she was telling the truth. But the whole time I just felt like they were hiding something. And the odd thing to me about this was it was very clear that Elvis lived in the basement or the bottom half of this property. It was not clear to me where she lived or where, who actually, if anyone, occupied the main part of this home. I just couldn't figure it all out. And when we were leaving, we actually had a tentative agreement in place, and that was if we could find them a smaller home, because that's why they wanted to move, was they felt this home was just a little bit too big for them. But it had to have space for Elvis to practice his music in. But if we found them a home, then they were willing to work with us on the creative terms that we wanted to buy that home from them for. So we had a tentative deal, and of course, Dave was focused on that because he was very excited about this property. But as we were leaving, she handed me Elvis's business card, because he does, little parties and stuff, and she wrote on the back of it her contact information, and she wrote the name Connie and a phone number. And I gave her a funny look, but I never said anything. And as we were leaving, she yells out the door, "Oh, I also go by Connie." And got in the car, and I said to Dave, "What are they hiding?" And he'd missed a lot of what I had caught because he was very focused on the deal. But I told him about the names in particular, and he says, "Well, isn't that odd? Because the first time she emailed me under the name Rose." So now we call her Connie Yvonne Rose. We pulled title. Before we washed our hands of it completely, we thought, well, let's see if she's even the owner. And sure enough, it was under somebody's name. We'll call him Mr. J. Onut. But the file name was actually Horseradish. So there was some involvement there of a woman named Horseradish, but was not the owner on title. So we just said, forget it. We'll move on. But interestingly enough, about a month later, we're looking at just keeping a regular scope on the market, and a foreclosure on Mellon Avenue comes to our attention. And Mellon Avenue is not a big road. There's probably 5 or 6, 7 houses on this road. So, right there, you've got a pretty good chance of hitting the house that's in foreclosure as being hers. And then, of course, we knew hers was a rancher, and there's only 2 ranchers on this street, and the foreclosure happens to be a rancher. So we have a 50-50 chance. We make arrangements to view the home, and the owner is actually sitting out front in her vehicle. She said the tenants are relatives of hers, and they insisted that she be present for any showings. And so we went in. Oh, I almost skipped the best part. This person sitting out front was not the Yvonne Horseradish that we know. However, she was definitely related to Ms. Horseradish, probably sisters, They could be cousins, but they looked a lot alike. There was no doubt in my mind that they were related. And we pulled title on Melon as well. And Miss Yvonne Horseradish is in fact the owner of Melon. So the owner is probably the woman we saw sitting out front. That's the realtor said she's the owner. So, well, was the owner before the bank took over, that is. So that was quite interesting. And if you're curious about this home, it's actually was on our blog, Life as Real Estate Investors, as the post of what's missing in the kitchen. So you could check that out. Anyway, we tried to buy it. We put in a couple of offers, but the bank won't budge, and they're actually asking probably $15,000 over market value, and that's why it's still sitting on the market and has for months and months. But anyway, so we couldn't buy it. We would have, but if we got the right price, but we couldn't get the price we needed, so we moved on. And then about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I received a form from our Lease to Own Homes website from somebody who says they used to live in this home and they want to move back into it and would do a rent to own. Could you please buy it from the bank so they could move in? And they put the address of 123 Melon Avenue. And the comment at the bottom says, I used to live in the home before my landlady lost it to the bank. So that was pretty darn interesting. It just keeps coming back to get us. And then yesterday, it just gets better. We have a website that is, we Broads Buy Homes, and we have bus bench ads and ads online, and of course we send out our letters. And we got a form in from a Miss Yvonne Horseradish Donut, who has a townhouse on Nectarine Street, and the reason for wanting to sell was that they are retiring or of the age they wish to retire, and they don't want to have this home anymore. And so now we're sitting here thinking we really would like to own the Carrot Road duplex. Nectarine Street is not, it's a townhouse, which isn't the property type we like to buy, and it's not really in a location that we like to buy in, but we do know, we do have people in our database that would do a rent to own on this particular property with us, or would be likely to. So we do have, potential exits on the Nectarine Street property. So we haven't called her yet, and we don't know which one actually is the real Ms. Yvonne Horseradish and what this mystery is. We have some speculations. We have not driven by Nectarine Street. We have not pulled title on it. But as you can see, this is quite the interesting saga. And, we'd love to hear what you think this mystery is. And if you would just walk away because, there's a web of lies, or if you would just work that little bit extra hard to figure out what the real story is and if there's an opportunity. So we'd love to hear from you, and you can join us on our little Sherlock Holmes mission. And for more updates on our Yellow Letter campaign, do check our blog, lifeasrealestateinvestors.com. We'll be posting another update as we've just picked up another property from the campaign, and we'll share all those details with you in the near future. But in the meantime, we're going to be trying to figure out if we should do anything with this little mystery.